Good evening, everybody. How are you today? Welcome to the latest edition of Drew Mania Live. So great to have you with us for this Friday, the 26th day of March, the year 2020, the year 2021. And of course, this is yours truly, Andrew L. Perry. Oh, yes, and yes, indeed. As always, coming to you live and answer from the busy streets of New York City as I chat to you what is happening in the world of sports. Well, the NCAA tournament is tomorrow. We are a week away from today from the Major League Baseball season to start. Major League Baseball to start. But the NBA deadline was yesterday, obviously. A lot of teams happening, a lot of trades happening, as you may know, stuff like that. But the thing I really want to talk about that, even though it's a short season, even though the season is pretty short, for say the least, but the Knicks are for real, folks. Yes, they 22-21, but the point is they're a 5th seed for the first time. Probably in over 20 years, that the New York Knicks are going to be taken seriously. Yeah, they're going to be taken very seriously. And and to me, you give credit to a lot of people, and mostly I got to give credit to Tom Thibodeau, because Tom Thibodeau this is not the first time Thibodeau change a team around and make them compete. He done it before. The only place he really have a turn it around he tried is with when he was coaching the Minnesota Timberwolves. But when he was with the Bulls, the Bulls compete and almost got to the Eastern Conference Finals before they lost to the Miami Heat in 2011. LeBron James and the Miami Heat, for that matter. And that's when Derrick Rose won the MVP, his only MVP. Now he's in New York. The Knicks are 22-21. Yes, they've been beaten up on the Washington Wizards, but for the most part, the Knicks have really played well. And this has been the best. This is the best Knicks team I have seen in a long time. And you know what? Give Tom Thibodeau credit. And give the basketball operations credit too, and I'm gonna tell you why. Can you imagine if Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Kyrie Irving was in that same team? How would that Knicks team will perform? They'll probably be in third place. They'll probably be in first place, but it'll be a lot of trauma. Not with this Knicks team. This Knicks team, they play intense. And let's face it, the Knicks haven't had a defense since the Rough Riders in the 90s, with Patrick Ewing and the 90s, from 90 to 1993. So we got to take that in consideration. And last time I checked, the Knicks have one of the best defenses, is top 5 and top 10 in defense efficiency. So that's a huge turnaround for the Knicks from before. But the Knicks has been playing solid basketball for quite some time. They really have. And for that, I can't give enough credit to Tom Thibodeau. Now, having said all that, the Knicks have done a much better job as far as keeping, I would say, keeping things together keeping things together, so to speak. As far as competing in the second half, because throughout the years with the Knicks, my biggest problem with the Knicks, they never finish the game. They never finished. And for the first couple of, when the beginning started, when the season started, they started to look like the old Knicks. But as the years gone by, from January, February, and March, now we're in March and heading towards the end of April. But more on that in a minute. More with the months in a minute. As far when the Knicks are in this game now, they finish the game. And now the Knicks, and another thing you should and you learn how to finish games. Just like with the 76ers this past Sunday. Okay. Games like against the 76ers, they would have lost that game. Games like that, they would have lost. Now, they learn to compete. And they learn how to compete, and even though they lost by 1 point, but the point is they compete. Even though the Knicks should have won that game. But the Knicks would have gave up, the game would have been over. But no, they competed throughout the end. And that's what you love about the Knicks. Now, furthermore, have y'all seen the way they beat up on the Washington Wizards? Damn. I know the Washington Wizards are the worst team one of the worst teams in the NBA. I get that. But damn. And that's a sign of a very good team. When you're a team, if you're in 5th or in the 6th seed or right around, or if you're a playoff team, these are the teams you're supposed to beat. And you're supposed to beat them by 192, like beat them by a large margin. And that's what you like as a Knicks fan. And down the road, and when the Knicks going to be, can you imagine if the Knicks, if the Garden was in a full capacity? This place will erupt like a concert. Like the concerts, it will be shaking. The Garden will be shaking, It will be rocking. And the Knicks haven't had that in a long time. And it would be fun to have the Knicks in the playoffs. It will be great to have the Knicks in the playoffs. I know they got farther in 2014 against the 2013 against the Indiana Pacers, but boy, it would have been, I can't wait to see the Knicks in the playoffs. And who knows? Well, as far as the Nets are 3rd seed, the Knicks are 5th seed. So the only way the Knicks and the Nets will face each other in the playoffs, it would have to be in the Eastern Conference Finals. So for that regard, the Knicks and the Nets are probably not going to see. The Knicks are most likely will not face each other in the postseason. So that's how it is. All right. Now enough with the NBA. Well, everybody saw Dwight Howard getting a ring. Oh, Dwight Howard getting a ring and got it rejected because he pushed to Martell way too much in the game yesterday against the Clippers and the Lakers. Now the Dwight Howard playing for the Clippers now. He's no longer a Laker, And look at Dwight Howard's career, He finally got a ring. And at one point, Dwight Howard was supposed to be the next Shaq. And now, I don't know what type of player he is. I really don't. And I'm not trying to diss him or anything. I'm not trying to dismiss him or anything. But he's not the same player, as you may not know. He don't give you night after night. He don't give you night after night. But then again, people criticize him too, so let's keep that in mind. But even then, he's not the same player like he was before. He wasn't. He's not the same player. So you have to take that in consideration. So again, we are a week away from it. We are a week away from MLB season. Now, the NCAA tournament is tomorrow, and we have a lot of good Sweet 16s games tomorrow. I think the best. We have a lot of good ones. Like the first. Let's see. The first game would be Oregon State versus Loyola Chicago, Sister Jean, the Rebels, the Ramblers. The good one also on Villanova versus Baylor. This is gonna be a tough game. It's gonna be a tough game. Or Roberts versus Arkansas. Or there's a lot of good games. Syracuse, Houston. Now, to me, the best game, Baylor, the best game to me in my eyes, out of the whole Sweet 16, it will be probably the game to watch in my eyes will be between Michigan and Florida State, or tomorrow Baylor versus Villanova. And I'm gonna tell you why. Well, the best game. Offense versus defense. Let's start with Michigan. First of all, the reason why I say this is the game to watch tomorrow, because of one thing. Florida have one of the best defense in the country. Michigan have one of the best offense in the country. Michigan has been solid all year. With Juwan Howard has done a phenomenal job as a head coach, even though his first year. So that's saying something, And Florida State had been down this road before, but lost in the Sweet 16. Couldn't get over the hump, and I think they could. So if Michigan don't lose this game, I could see them going to the Final Four. I really do. I really see him going to the Final Four. I can't see him losing to any other game. I really don't. Maybe except Gonzaga. But Florida State, this game is the game I think they could probably win. If the only game they could lose, Michigan, this is the game they could probably lose. So it would be very, but look at I'm looking at the Sunday games. Look, the Sunday games are lethal. Outside of Michigan, you got Alabama, UCLA. You got USC and Oregon. If the rematch, I call it the rematch, the Pac-12 college football rematch for the conference championship, but they're in basketball now. Creighton versus Gonzaga, that should be a good one. You already discussed Florida State, Michigan. Yeah. And those games are early, so a lot of good games are left. Right now, let's go with the scores right now. Sorry to flip back and forth. But no NCAA tournament today. It'll be tomorrow. But I wonder so most likely the Elite Eight is probably going to be Monday. The Elite Eight is going to be Monday. And Tuesday will be the Elite Eight for the Saturday, Sunday. the Elite Eight